is it. This is the Caucasian. There is a constant attack on the black man and black woman. There is a constant attack on their melanin. There is an attack on their identity. This attack, it is carried out by the Caucasian. The International Federation of Pigment Cell Society, abbreviation IFPCS. This is an international organization devoted to the study of various aspects in pigment cells. It was founded in 1977, and it consists of 4 regional scientific societies, and it represents more than 1,000 scientists and experts in the field. The IFPCS, this is an organization devoted to the study of the black man and black woman. This organization, it studies the melanin of the black man and black woman. This is an organization that meets every 3 to 5 years, and the black man and black woman, they are not invited because they are the subject being studied. This organization meets and has conferences in different locations across the globe. The IFPCS, it is devoted to the study of the black man and black woman, studying their melanin with the intent on stilling and harvesting their melanin for usage in photothermal therapy, chemotherapy, various biomedical applications. Melanin is being used for its antioxidant benefits, anti-inflammatory benefits, radioprotective benefits, hepatic benefits, gastrointestinal benefits, hypoglycemic benefits, and various other medical benefits. Melanin is being used for. Melanin is being harvested for use in computers as biosensors. Even NASA is in on this usage of melanin, and NASA is using melanin to protect against radiation. And the United States government is preparing to use melanin for military applications and devices. There is an attack on the black man and black woman for their melanin and their identity. The true origin of the Caucasian is from the interbreeding between the fallen angels and the black woman. Sin started in heaven. Sin was found in Lucifer, and Lucifer was cast to the earth. But when Lucifer fell, he drew a third of the angels with him. Among the fallen angels, there are the Watchers, also called Gregory. They took to themselves wives. This means that the Watchers, they had sexual relations with the black woman. The Book of Enoch goes into more detail than Jasher and Jubilees. Enoch gives detail on the origins of demons and Nephilim and why some angels fell from heaven. Enoch gives an explanation of why the flood was necessary, and Enoch gives a prophetic exposition of the 1,000-year reign of the Mashiach. Enoch explains the oath that the watchers took among themselves. There were 200 fallen angels, and these angels swore an oath where they will go to the daughters of men and make wives so they can produce children. In Enoch chapter 7, verses 1 to 2 and verses 5 to 7, it reads, "It happened after the sons of men had multiplied in those days that the daughters were born to them, elegant and beautiful. And when the angels, the sons of heaven, when they beheld them, they became enamored of them, saying to each other, 'Come, let us select for ourselves wives from the progeny of men, and let us beget children.'" In verse 5, the angels, they are responding to Semyaza. Verse 5 reads, "But they answered him and said, We all swear and bind ourselves by mutual execrations." And execrations, that means evil, an evil deed or an act that these angels agreed upon. Verse 6 reads, "And bind ourselves by mutual execrations, that we will not change our intention, but execute our projected undertaking." Then they swore all together, and all bound themselves by mutual execrations. That whole number was 200, who descended upon Ardis, which is the top of Mount Armon, and Mount Armon, that is Mount Hermon. Thus Enoch, he let us know that 200 fallen angels agreed by an oath to perform an evil act and to make sure that this evil act is carried out. These are the beings that are the father of the Caucasian. "200 fallen angels fathered children, and their children are demons, Nephilim, wild man, and the Caucasian." The Caucasian is the last and end result of the offspring of fallen angels. The first instance of interbreeding took place in the Middle East. The interbreeding between the fallen angels and the black woman is the cause of albinism. It is the cause of a calcified pineal gland that cannot produce melanin. It is the cause of all genetic mutations found in all Caucasians, and it is the cause of extra DNA found in all Caucasians. The interbreeding between the fallen angels and the black woman caused genetic mutations. A mutation. A mutation is the changing of the structure of a gene, resulting in a variant form that may be transmitted to subsequent generations. And this is caused by the alteration of single base units in DNA, or the deletion, insertion, or rearrangement of large sections of genes or chromosomes. A mutated gene is a recessive gene, All Caucasians have recessive genes, while all black people have dominant genes. A mutation presupposes the existence of a gene that is not mutated. It presupposes the existence of a gene that functions correctly. The gene that functions correctly, the gene that is not mutated, it is the dominant gene found only in black people, in the black man and black woman. The Caucasian's gene is a recessive and mutated form of the black man's gene. Hence, it does not function correctly because it is mutated, altered, it is changed due to the interbreeding. This mutated form, it is from the interbreeding between the fallen angels and the black woman. This mutated form is the cause of albinism, and all Caucasians are albinos. They are albinos that suffer from all 7 disorders of OCA. Scientists have long known that Africa is the cradle of human civilization. The black and brown skin of the black man and woman, it protects them from skin cancer and other harmful effects of UV radiation. The black man and black woman has eumelanin, and eumelanin is produced by the pineal gland. Eumelanin is found in the earth. Eumelanin exists in 3 forms: as a liquid, solid, and gas. The blackness that appears in the sky at night, that is melanin gas, eumelanin gas. The pineal gland of the black man, it functions normally. The pineal gland of the Caucasian is calcified. It does not function normally. It cannot produce melanin. It cannot produce the right melanin. The pineal gland in the Caucasian produces pheomelanin. Oculocutaneous albinism, OCA 1-7. Jeremiah. Jeremiah, the Hebrew name is Yirmiyahu. Yirmiyahu. He is the son of Hilkiah, and he is from the tribe of Levi, and he is from the village of Anathoth. And Anathoth is located in Namibia, southwest Africa. Anathoth is one of the Levitical cities given to the children of Aaron and located in the tribe of Benjamin. Each of the 12 tribes had Levitical cities. Jeremiah, he was given several prophecies, and he wrote these prophecies down. One of the prophecies is concerning Esau. Esau lived before Jeremiah, and he died long before Jeremiah was born. So who is this Esau that Jeremiah is referring to? Jeremiah chapter 49, verse 10. It reads, "But I have made Esau bare. I have uncovered his secret places, and he shall not be able to hide himself. His seed is spoiled, and his brethren, and his neighbors, and he is not." This prophecy is referring to a particular group of descendants of Esau. It is referring to the Caucasian. Esau was a black man, and his black descendants, they mixed their seed with the offspring of the fallen angels. And this is how the Caucasian became known as Esau or Edom. Jeremiah, he uses the term kasaph. The Hebrew word kasaph, spelled C-H-A-S-A-P-H, kasaph. Jeremiah uses this Hebrew word kasaph to describe a certain trait of the Caucasian. This trait is a genetic mutation that all Caucasians have. It is also called oculocutaneous albinism, the abbreviation OCA, and there are 7 types of oculocutaneous albinism, 1-7. Jeremiah uses the Hebrew word kasaph in application to Esau's descendants. Kasaph is the Erie letters Het, Shin, and Peh. And this Hebrew word, it means to make open or to bear. This is seen in the Erie letter Peh, which means mouth. And when the mouth is open, the top lip becomes separated from the bottom lip, hence open. And open means to remove or separate, to separate something from something else. It is to uncover or to make exposed to the view. It is also seen in the every letter Het and in the every letter Shin. But both of these every letters, they refer to the dividing or separating of Esau, thereby exposing him and causing him to be open and uncovered. This can only refer to the skin of Esau being removed, thus white. Yes, Esau, he was a black man. The Hebrew word that Jeremiah used is kasaph. And kasaph, it means to open, to expose to the view, to bear. And this means white. White skin is called oculocutaneous albinism, 1 through 7. And OCA, it is a genetic disorder that all Caucasians suffer from. There are 7 types of OCA. And these 7 types, they are caused by mutations in several different genes. Whiteness is a disease. It is a disorder. It is a mutation. It is a mutation of the SLC24A5 gene. Whiteness is not normal. It is abnormal. And it is susceptible to various forms of cancer, disease, sicknesses. Whiteness has pheomelanin, and pheomelanin is found in red hair, and it is concentrated in the redder areas of the skin, such as the lips. Since white people cannot make melanin pigment, their skin is generally pale, and it burns easily with sun exposure. Melanin, which is found only in black people. Melanin has selenium in it, and this selenium, it protects against harmful radiation. On the other hand, pheomelanin, which is found in the Caucasian, pheomelanin does not have selenium. Pheomelanin has sulfur, benzothiazine, and benzothiazole derivatives, and it does not have selenium, therefore it does not protect against radiation. Pheomelanin, it is listed in the melacards of human melody, and it is listed as an anomaly of the skin. Pheomelanin is also listed as melanoma, which is skin cancer, and it is listed as albinism. There are 7 types of OCA, oculocutaneous albinism, and these 7 types are the following. OCA1. OCA1 is associated with reduced production of melanin in the skin, hair, and eyes. There are 2 types of OCA1. There's OCA1A and OCA1B. OCA1A is the complete absence of melanin pigment, resulting in white hair and white skin. This is a mutation. It is a mutation of the tyrosinase gene. In OCA1B, there is a small amount of melanin pigment that accumulates in time. OCA2. This is a mutation of the P gene. The P gene provides instructions for making a protein called the P protein. OCA2, this mutation, it causes blue eyes. Blue eyes is a mutation, and the OCA2 gene mutation. It is associated with green eyes and hazel eyes. Blue eyes, green eyes, and hazel eyes. These are mutations. OCA3. This is a mutation of the TYRP1 gene. Affected individuals have reddish skin, red hair, and blue eyes, gray eyes, and hazel eyes. OCA3, it causes syndromes, such as the Hermansky-Pudlak syndrome. OCA4, this is a mutation of the SLC45A2 gene. This mutated gene, it causes pale skin, a complete absence of hair pigment, and it causes peak nevi. And nevi is a skin lesion or a mole-like skin tumor. OCA4, it is associated with blue eyes, light brown eyes, and black hair. Black hair in Caucasian, that is a mutation, and that is due to the pheomelanin. Black hair in black people, that is not a mutation, and that is due to the eumelanin. OCA5, this is a mutation. Affected individuals have golden colored hair, white skin, nystagmus, and photophobia. OCA6, this is a mutation. It is characterized by light hair at birth, and this hair, it darkens with age. OCA6 is characterized by white skin, photophobia, and nystagmus. OCA7, this is a mutation. This is a mutation in the LRMDA gene. This mutated gene, it causes pale skin, blonde to light brown hair. These are the 7 types of disorders and diseases of OCA. And all Caucasians, they are albinos and they suffer from OCA 1 to 7. The normal function of skin in human beings is supposed to have eumelanin, and the color is supposed to be black or brown. This normal skin functioning of eumelanin, it is exhibited as black or brown. This comes from the Most High. It was created by God. God is the one that created the black man and the black woman with eumelanin, and he created them both in his image. The non-melanated skin of the Caucasian was not created by God, and it did not come from him. It is the result of sin of the fallen angels, of fornicating and taking wives from the progeny of men. Good hair and natural hair is supposed to be tightly curled like that of the black man and the black woman. The tightly curled hair was created by God, and this type of hair, it protects from UV radiation. The interbreeding between the black woman and the fallen angels, it caused mutations in the TCHH gene, which produce straight hair. Straight hair is listed as a disease of the TCHH gene in the Melacar's Human Disease Database. The Caucasian suffers from a mutated TCHH gene, and this mutated gene, it causes straight hair that cannot protect the Caucasian from UV radiation. Straight hair. Straight hair is a disease, a disorder, a mutation of the TCHH gene, where two alleles are damaged, thereby making the gene recessive. All Caucasians have recessive genes, and a recessive gene, it is a mutated gene. All black people have dominant genes. A dominant gene, it is not mutated, and it functions correctly. The Caucasian's hair, it is similar to animal's hair, and animal hair is fur. Straight hair, like that of white skin, it is recessive, and it is a disorder. It is not normal. It is abnormal. There is absolutely no benefit in having straight hair. And straight hair, it is listed as a disease in the Medicard's Human Disease Database. On the other hand, one of the benefits of having tightly curled hair like that of black people is the protection from UV radiation. The mutated TCHH gene has caused different color hair in the Caucasian. Red hair. This is a mutation. It is the result of a mutation in a gene called melanin receptor 1. Red hair does not protect the Caucasian from UV radiation. Blonde hair. This is a mutation. It is a mutation in a gene called KIT ligand. This gene, it also causes dark brown hair. Blonde hair and dark brown hair in the Caucasian. These colored hairs, they do not protect the Caucasian from UV radiation due to the pheomelanin. White hair. This is a mutation. It is a mutation in a gene called interferon regulatory factor 4. IRF4. This gene, it helps in regulating and producing melanin in the hair. But this production and regulation of melanin, it does not happen because the gene is mutated. White hair, it does not protect the Caucasian from UV radiation. The natural color of eyes in the human species is brown. Brown eyes is the normal human eye color created by God. The interbreeding between the black woman and fallen angels, it caused a mutation in the gene responsible for producing melanin, and this gene, it makes the eyes brown. A mutation in the OCA2 gene is the cause of the various eye colors found in Caucasians. Blue eyes, this is a mutation. It is a mutation in the HERC2 gene. This gene, it regulates the expression of OCA2, and it is partly responsible for blue eyes. Other genes responsible for blue eyes are the SLC24A4 gene and the TYR genes. These genes, they are mutated in the Caucasian, and they produce the blue eye color, which is a mutation, a disorder, a disease. Hazel eyes. This is a mutation. It is a mutation in the HERC2 gene. Hazel eyes, it appeared to shift in color from brown to green. Gray eyes. This is a mutation. It is a mutation in the HERC2 gene, and it is a mutation in the OCA2 and the P gene. The many genetic mutations of the Caucasian makes the Caucasian a mutant. The Caucasian is disease, and the Caucasian is disordered. He is out of order. His genetic makeup goes against the created order. In the nonsense of white supremacy, the Caucasian taunts himself as being superior to the black man and black woman. But this is nonsense, and it is a lie. The Caucasian cannot be superior to the black man and black woman, and he cannot be equal to the black man and black woman because he cannot produce melanin pigment, and his entire biological makeup is a mutant. The genetic mutations of the Caucasian, it causes an intellectual disorder and inferiority. The Caucasian is genetically and intellectually inferior to the black man and black woman. This is why the Caucasian sets racial barriers and unjust laws that block the social progress of the black man and black woman. All Caucasians have pheomelanin, and as a result, they experience sunburn. Sunburn is an inflammatory reaction to UV radiation, and this radiation, it damages the skin's outermost layer. It often appears within a few hours of being in the sun too long. At the heart of all of this is pheomelanin. Pheomelanin, which all Caucasians have. Pheomelanin is a disorder, a mutation. It is a disease. And it does not protect the Caucasian from UV radiation. The sun care product industry, it had a revenue of $13 billion in 2019. And it is projected to grow over $24 billion by 2029. Selling sun care products is a global billion-dollar industry for all Caucasians. All countries outside of Africa, these countries, they buy sun care products for the protection against UV radiation. The Caucasian who stole the identity of the black Egyptians, they are burned by the sun. Hence, sun care products is a big industry in Egypt. The Caucasian tells many lies. One of his lies is to claim that the ancient Egyptians, they used sunscreens and sun lotions, sun blockers. They used these things to protect their skin. This is a lie, and this is built upon the lie that the ancient Egyptians were Caucasians. These are the nonsense lies made up by the Caucasian, and it is the Caucasian doing his best to right himself into black history. The black man and the black woman, they were created by the Most High with melanin. And this melanin, it causes the black man and the black woman to have an intelligence far higher than all non-melanated people. Contrary to the negative stereotypes by the Caucasians, the black man and the black woman has an intellect that far exceeds all other people on earth, and the scientific evidence that supports this has been carried out by the following scientists and geneticists: S.A. Tishkoff, E. Deitch, W. Speed, A.J. Paxtis, J.R. Kidd, K. Toon, B. Bontemir, A.S. Santacara Bennett Rossetti, P. Moore, M. Krings, S. Powell, E. Watson, N. Reach, T. Jenkins, and K.K. Kidd. These are the scientists and geneticists that conducted the research confirming its truth and validity. These scientists, they show that the black man and the black woman has 9 sequences of DNA, whereas the Caucasian and all those who like melanin, they have 6 sequences of DNA, and the ape has 5 sequences of the DNA. The Caucasian is closer to the ape, just 1 sequence of DNA higher than the ape. The black man and the black woman has 9 sequences of DNA, putting them at an intellect that far exceeds all people on earth, with 9 sequences of DNA. In 711 AD, the black Moors went outside of Africa to the so-called land called Iberia. This is the location where the Moors, they encountered the wild man. The Moors fought against the wild men and eventually overcame them and subdued them. The Moors, they started cleaning them up, building cities, roads, and taught the wild man hygiene, how to read and write, how to farm, how to eat properly, how to cook. The Moors built libraries, universities, aqueducts, irrigation, and many, many more things. The wild man had a renaissance, which is a rebirth. The wild man was being civilized by the black Moors. The rebirth of the wild man produced the modern Caucasian. Later, the wild man, who is now the Caucasian, this being had an enlightenment, and he started to fight against the Moors. The Caucasian eventually overcame the Moors and drove them out of so-called Europe. The wild man, which is the Caucasian, has hair that covers his entire body except for his face, feet, and hands. The wild man has human and animal traits, and he has these traits without being fully committed to the animal level and without being fully committed to the human level. However, he is closer to animals than he is to humans. The wild man, which is the Caucasian, this being is 99% similar in DNA to the ape than he is to humans. The wild man is from the Dark Ages. The Dark Ages are also called the Middle Ages or medieval period. The wild man is from the Dark Ages and he is covered in hair all over his body. He is often shown naked with only a covering around the genital area. The Caucasian, in his pathological lying behavior, the Caucasian has applied his history of having very little clothes. He applied this to the black man in Africa, particularly the Sand people. The Caucasian depicts certain African tribes as wearing very little clothing, but this behavior of very little clothing, that is the behavior and history of the Caucasian as the wild man. The wild man descends from fallen angels. The wild man is the last stage in the development of the offspring of the fallen angels. All Caucasians are not only mutants, they are wild men and wild women. In the so-called Epic of Gilgamesh, Gilgamesh himself says that he is a wild man, and this information is found in the Book of Giants. When we look at the evolutionary chart of the Caucasian, the monkey in the chart, that is not a monkey. It is a wild man. The Caucasian disguised the wild man as a monkey. The evolutionary chart is the origin of the Caucasian. This chart, it does not apply to the black man and black woman. The black man and black woman, they were created by God. They did not descend from any being. They are not the offspring of any being. They were created, and they were created in the image of God and in his likeness. On the other hand, the Caucasian was not created by God, and the evolutionary chart, that chart is designed by the Caucasian himself. And the chart, it shows the true origin of the Caucasian as not created, but as a descendant of beings that are not human, such as the fallen angels. The evolutionary chart, it shows that the Caucasian comes from beings that are not human. The monkey in the chart is not a human being. The monkey in the chart is not really a monkey. It is a wild man. And a wild man is not a human being. Thus, the evolutionary chart, it is telling us and it is showing us the origin, the true origin of the Caucasian. The wild man is Esau and Edom. One of the traits of Esau is that he was hairy all over his body. And this is the same trait of the wild man. The wild man is hairy all over his body. The excessive hair growth has been called hypertrichosis. Hypertrichosis occurs in males and female, and that is male and female of the Caucasian species. This does not happen with the black man and black woman, only the Caucasian. The wild man suffered from hypertrichosis, and the wild man is the Caucasian. This is a wild man, crawling and walking like an animal. This is an albino wild man, And these are Caucasians in Austria, crawling and walking like an animal. The Caucasian is a liar, a pathological liar, and he lies with impunity, but judgment from the Most High has been placed on the Caucasian. The Caucasian is his father's son, and just as Satan is a liar, so is the Caucasian. The Caucasian, he takes after his father, the devil. The Caucasian is a deceiver, just like his father Satan. The Caucasian has his father's DNA, and literally. The Caucasian has told many lies about the black man and black woman. The Caucasian has stolen Africa. The Caucasian stole all of Africa and covered it up with many lying names from the scramble for Africa. The Caucasian stole Israel and Judah, and he created a fraudulent location in the Middle East. And he says this is the true Israel, but it's actually a lie. The Caucasian lies and says that Yahshua is white or olive color. The Caucasian makes this claim without knowing what goes into such a claim. The question, what color is Yahshua? This is a question that many people tend to shy away from. The typical response to the question is, it doesn't matter what color Yahshua is, or Yahshua is all colors for all people. Does the color of Yahshua matter? Absolutely yes. The color of Yahshua matters. But why does it matter? It matters because truth matters. Yahshua is black, and it cannot be otherwise. And Yahshua, he is not all colors for all people. The fact that Yahshua is black is a scriptural and historical truth. And the fact that it is necessary that Yahshua is black is a biological truth. Both of these truths cannot be denied. Is Yahshua white, Mediterranean, or olive color? Many people are not aware of what goes into the claim that Yahshua is white, Mediterranean, olive color, mixed, mulatto, and the like. Claiming that Yahshua is white, Mediterranean, or olive is to say that Yahshua has straight hair, which is a result of having recessive genes where the TCHH gene is mutated. Claiming that Yahshua is white, Mediterranean, or olive is to say that he has straight hair, in which straight hair is not normal. Claiming that Yahshua is white, Mediterranean, or olive is to say that Yahshua has recessive genes, and his pineal gland is calcified and non-functioning, and it cannot produce melanin. He has rickets, head lice, he has Neanderthal DNA, he has Denisovan DNA, he is a mutant, and he suffers from OCA 1 to 7, and he suffers from various genetic disorders, has a mutated TCHH gene, has pheomelanin, which has sulfur, benzothiazine, and benzothiazole derivatives, which cannot protect him from the rays of the sun, from the UV radiation. The very sun that he created, it burns his skin and causes skin cancer. Claiming that Yahshua is white, Mediterranean, or olive is to say that Yahshua, he has uncombable hair syndrome 3, has pilomaxilloma, which is a skin disease of the face, scalp, neck, upper limb, and shoulder. It is a benign skin tumor derived from the hair matrix. And lastly, claiming that Yahshua is white, Mediterranean, or olive is to say that he is listed in the melachars of human melodies as a disease. Claiming that Yahshua is olive is saying that he has a mutated SLC45A2 gene in melanin production. All Caucasians, all so-called Mediterranean and olive, they all have a mutation, various mutations. And one of these mutations is the SLC45A2. Claiming that Yahshua is olive is to say that he suffers from all 7 OCA disease. All of the above is what it means to be white, Mediterranean, and olive, and it is the genetic and DNA makeup of all white, Mediterranean, and olive people. Understanding this makes it very clear that it is necessary that Yahshua is black, and it cannot be otherwise. It makes it very clear that Yahshua is not white, that he is not Mediterranean, that he is not olive. To make such claim is to say that Yahshua is a mutant. Many people are not aware of what goes into the claim Yahshua is black. Claiming that Yahshua is black is to say that his pineal gland is not calcified and functions normally. His pineal gland produces melanin, which is black and brown. He has normal and good hair, which is tight curl and woolly. His melanin has selenium that protects from radiation. He is normal the way God made it so. His melanin is worth more than gold and more than any other precious minerals. His eumelanin is produced in abundance within him, and it is in the earth and in space. It is also in the universe. His eumelanin is necessary for proper functioning of all other minerals, elements, and anything that exists. His eumelanin is the chemical key of life. His DNA is covered with eumelanin. His eumelanin is a healing and repairing agent. The eumelanin in the black man and black woman, it protects the skin from UV light, whereas pheomelanin, it does not protect the Caucasian from UV radiation. Eumelanin in the hair follicle acts as a chromophore that can absorb the laser radiation of a wavelength, converting it into thermal energy. His eumelanin, it functions normally. This is just some of the things that goes into the claim Yahshua is black. Contrary to modern understandings of white in the Bible, white denotes a blank state, emptiness, stupidity, and whiteness denotes the greatest resistance to the absorption of light. And this comes down to pride, stubbornness, and more stupidity. Hence leprosy, or the white disease. It signifies an unwarranted pride and ignorance, thus stupidity. In Psalms chapter 14, verse 1. It reads, "The fool has said in his heart, there is no God. They are corrupt. They have done abominable works. There is none that does right." The psalmist wrote, "The fool said in his heart, there is no God." The psalmist uses the Hebrew word Nabal. Nabal, spelled N-A-B-A-L. Nabal means fool, but when Nabal is read from right to left, it becomes Laban. Laban, spelled L-A-B-A-N. When Nabal is read from right to left, it becomes Laban, and Laban means white. The black Hebrews, they equated whiteness with foolishness and stupidity. The black Hebrews, they understood whiteness as something that cannot absorb light. It rejects light and becomes stupid and foolish. The psalmist, he uses the word Nabal, which means fool, and the Caucasian is the only being on earth that denies the existence of God. All black civilizations, they were worshipers of some form of God, whether that form of God is a false god or not. All black civilizations in Africa, these people, they worship some form of a deity that they deem as God. No black person in black history and black civilization was an atheist. Atheism comes from the Caucasian, and as the psalmist says, the fool said in his heart, there is no God. This is atheism. Atheism is modern. Atheism is from the Caucasian. Black people and black history and all black civilizations, these people, they did not have a history of atheism. They were never atheists. It is only the Caucasian that denies the existence of God. Atheism is modern, but the Caucasian, he lies, and he tried his best to make atheism ancient. Many Caucasians are born with tails. This anomaly, it applies only to the Caucasian. There are reports of people in India with tails, people in Europe with tails, people in the US with tails. The Caucasian's tail, it is an anomaly, and this anomaly, it is called spina bifida occulta. The Melachars of Human Melodies defines spina bifida occulta as a malformation, a deformation, and a chromosomal abnormality, a malformation and deformation of the musculoskeletal system and of the spine and bony thorax. The National Library of Medicine defines the anomaly of a human tail as a vestigial midline protrusion with skin covering connective tissue, muscle, vessels, and nerves. This condition of a tail, it applies only to the Caucasian. The black man and the black woman, they do not grow tails. In India, Rulers of the Rajput tribe, they believe a tail is a mark of divinity, giving evidence of their descent from the monkey god called Hanuman.
Ignore. Just refuse to publish any facts of African history that don't go along with our racial theories.
We need to create a religious and a scientific doctrine so that African slavery won't appear that bad after all.
What we need to do is flood the world with new African histories that contain our European perspectives only.
Start renaming people and places. Replace African names with Arabic and European names. This will disguise their true black identity.
Let's change the criteria for defining race. For example, 1 drop of Negro blood in America makes you a Negro, no matter how light the skin.
Yes, and when reporting ancient African history, reverse the standard. No matter how dark the skin, woolly the hair, or thick the lips, you don't have to be a Negro.
When black contribution to civilization is too obvious, let's find a way to attribute it to outside white influences.
When all the ancient historians contradict your theory, we'll just discredit them.
The Caucasian lies continue. These are the lies of the Caucasian, denying truth, denying the truth of black history. The black man and black woman, they must understand that all history is black history, and white history is stolen history of black history. The black man and the black woman must understand Scramble for Africa, for it is here in Scramble for Africa that the Caucasians stole, raped, and pillaged the land and people of Africa, renaming all things in Africa using Arabic language, German, Dutch, and French languages to deceive and cover up all things that were stolen. For example, the Caucasian stole the Euphrates River. He stole it from Africa and placed it in the fraudulent location called Middle East. Then he renamed the real Euphrates River in Africa, changing it to the Nassau River. The Caucasian, he is a liar and deceiver, just like his father, Satan. The Caucasian is his father's son, and the work that his father does, he will do. The Caucasian is a mutant. He suffers from various mutations, and he descends from beings that are not human. The Caucasian is an albino that suffers from OCA 1 to 7 and has pheomelanin, and pheomelanin that does not protect the Caucasian from UV radiation. All Middle Eastern people in Israel with straight hair, they are Caucasians that suffer from OCA 1 to 7. They are mutants and descendants of fallen angels.